Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Propagandacaster from the host Imperial Dane. Today we're looking at a bit of a different game called Surviving the Aftermath, the sequel to Surviving Mars. Yes, chronologically this makes a lot of sense. Either way, it is a sort of city builder game, and as sort of the look here hints to in the name title as well there, it's a post-apocalyptic city builder. Huzzah! But otherwise, I mean, if you've played any other games in this series before, like Anno, The Settlers, Knights and Merchants, well, probably not Knights and Merchants, you'd be told for that one, and not close enough to Germany in most cases. But, you know, if you've played any of these games, I mean, the game very much sort of plays out. I mean, no, I'm not being paid to play this, unfortunately. And basically, sort of PR firm asked me, like, would you like to cover this? And I'm like, sure. I mean, it could be fun. You know, I mean, you never get off of this. So, you know, I figure branch out a bit. Overall, very box standard, really, though. I mean, you got the whole post-apocalyptic and sort of has that whole grunge Brexit look. But beyond that, I mean, the game so far, at least I would say, I mean, again, it's apparently also out in early access. I want to note there on the Epic Store, and I think some Xbox thing as well. The game is supposed to be full out in 2020. So obviously, I mean, this is not the full product, but I mean, for a game that's sort of trying to set out like, you know, post-apocalypse, it doesn't really, you know, sort of stick to your brain like, say, I don't know, Frostpunk, which I haven't played, but like, you know, it's sort of like, you know, look at it and say, that's really post-apocalyptic. Here it's more like, well, this is just rural lower class America, isn't it? Waka waka social commentary. And that's kind of the thing. I mean, it just really doesn't stand out. You're just building buildings, setting up supply chains. But, I mean, you're not really getting that sense of post-apocalypse. There's moral decisions, but mostly just boils down to, well, do I have the resources to give them what they want? Nope, then apparently I'm a bad person because I don't have the resources. And otherwise, you got, like, you know, food and water you got to manage. Will sometimes just spike out. We're like, oh, suddenly I'm lacking all of my water. I didn't know until it's too late, and my water storage apparently is also very empty now. So, you kind of get those weird surprises. The food system also seems a bit weird, like you got production, consumption, fair enough, but despite, like, you know, at times having, like, 3 times the production, it's never quite enough. So I sort of find myself, like, struggling to get enough food for, like, ages to sort of get everything running. So, it feels a bit, you know, awkward, a bit chaotic, which I suppose again fits the whole post-apocalyptic, but, you know, at the same time the whole, you know, I'm doing stuff in the post-apocalypse, I don't quite feel. I'm just feeling like I'm another city manager, and it's just, again, everything looks a bit rubbish. That's basically it. You got catastrophes you're sort of managing as well, which just basically means you got periods where everything is even worse, but again, like, you're not really feeling like you're making any sort of like serious decision. It's just like everything runs rubbish. You gotta make sure you got medical tents operating, and, you know, your burial site's full so people don't feel sad about the dead, or at least not too sad. And so far, at least that's it. You got some research. We're like, you know, research stuff to unlock better stuff. You gain research points by exploring the world. We got this. You got sort of different Chelsea leaders you can run around to do stuff with, like scavenging, including looking for research points, which you then magically can then convert into like new stuff. You can sort of scavenge for other bits, fight bandits. Very, very rudimentary. Just walk someone and they sort of punch out. No, things happen on turns, so like every day you get like a new turn. Some people move more than others, and the system's a bit sluggish again. I mean, sure, that'll be sorted out with, you know, future updates, but right now it's like only one guy can do anything at a time. You got specifically all of them today. You can't, like, say, set up longer paths, so it's all a bit, you know, sluggish out here. Like, you sort of micromanage everything a bit tediously. You got to do this, you got to do that. It's, again, it's all right, but yeah, there we go. Now my specialists are ready for action. That's great. Specialists, you explore sites, look for new stuff, find more bandits to fight. Decide you want to fight them, you know, look for other things, medicine, you got components, parts, electronics, you got fun boxes, which I guess is their way of saying entertainment, but they're not entirely sure how to describe it. They just call them fun boxes. I mean, I guess they didn't call them loot boxes, at least. I'm sure that would have been a really popular choice. So yeah, I mean, again, it's very functional. You're sort of the person who likes this type of game. I'm sure it'll work fine, though. at the moment, I don't know, Surviving Mars, or I guess Frostpunk might be a better pick here, really. I mean, at least by Frostpunk, it's sort of like you had to, like, you know, more greater decisions, so like what way you sort of want to take directions, and do you want to be the dictator or whatever. Here it's more like, well, you know, you're just doing stuff again. You're just the middle manager in a sense. You're not really making any like hugely impactful decisions. You're not making any, like, you know, I am the captain of this ship and we shall go this way. Anyone who says otherwise gets crucified and thrown off the ship. Which I'm not entirely sure how it would work, but I'm sure it'll look spectacular. So yeah, I'm thinking functional, steady. It looks alright. It functions alright, but like in terms of like so far at least greater aesthetic, it feels, you know, generic grunge. And it doesn't really feel like it's sort of like greater goals, any greater aspirations. So I mean, I don't think it's going to catch on to anyone like outside of the genre, like again, that's sort of really into this. Like, you know, again, for example, I don't think I'll keep playing this. I mean, it's not really something that really catches me. I mean, I used to play a bunch of these games, but, you know, that was when I was a kid and had a lot more time on my hands, you know. Easy to spend an entire day just playing Knights and Merchants or The Settlers 2, when you really just are a kid and it's summer and you got bugger all to do. Nowadays, yeah, like, you know, you got stuff to manage in this regard. I don't know, just, it should at least have some sort of greater hook, like, you know, some greater fantasy it's trying to sell me into, you know, like, I mean, Darkest Dungeon also, you know, was started out as early access, but, you know, much greater actually. You got this dark world, Wayne Jr. scenario to, like, you know, it didn't have a lot of content, but it certainly sold you on the idea. And here, like, again, there'll probably more content added, but in terms of aesthetics, in terms of, like, you know, the idea, the dream, and the fantasy it's trying to sell me on, I'm not really sold with this. And again, it might be I'm just not part of the target audience here. But, yeah, no, I mean, I'm not asking for jackboots and restored panzers and, you know, all that sort of stuff and post-apocalyptic, although it would be fun, but at least something a bit more to do than just, you know, building slightly prettier houses and managing supply chains and wondering where did all my water go again? And why are random meteors very specifically targeting my fields? Which is just sort of like, you know, I had 2 fields, boom, I had no more fields. Would you look at that, Terrence? Would you look at that? So again, Surviving the Aftermath, available in the Epic Store, perfectly functional, perfectly alright, but yeah, no. Available in the Epic Store if you like that. If you don't like the Epic Store, fully understandable. They obviously don't go harassing or being naughty to people over that. Just move on. But yeah, it's alright. It's alright for an early access game. I mean, you know, it's functional. It works. It hasn't lit my computer on fire, caused a blue screen of death, and like say, I don't know, the Magic the Gathering Arena client, which apparently has some pretty serious memory leak issues. But yeah, it works. It works. That's really all I can say. It's functional. Again, it's drab, but it's functional, and certainly gives you stuff to do. But in terms of like overall big thing, the jury's out. So far, my cat's asleep as well, so I think that says it all. This is Imperial Dane, been here with a bit of a propaganda preview. There might be some more down the road if, you know, people find this stuff interesting. Got a possibility to do something with Phoenix Pot, which I think is interesting, but, you know, that's really it here. So I hope you liked this. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment, press the bell button, and of course let me know in the comments what you think. This is Imperial Dane, signing off.